Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Jesus Just Food. I am your host, Joseph Israel, and we are in the bill. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Let's get into it, man. Let's get it going. You see here, what you see here is our history. I'm going to open up this book, even though it's in German. We going to translate this book. That's no doubt. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, you see the words that are highlighted. And it says, from the natural disposition, the legends, customs, and traditions of the East. So what we dealing with is customs and traditions of the East. And we going to find out who are these legends. Let me put this down for a second. I hope y'all can hear me. I hope I ain't too out of bounds for you. How about now? Am I still good? Am I still good? Yeah, okay. So let's see what this says. With that translation. So this is going to be a translation of the old customs and traditions. Let's move down a little further. Let's see what this says. Let's see what this says. Let's light this thing up. All right. And these are the customs, Oriental customs. And William the Second was, excuse me, the explanation of the Holy Scriptures based on the customs and practices of the Hindus, being Ernest Frederick Carl Rosenmuller, Doctor of Theology and Oriental Literature. Let's get a little bit more. On or the morning literary or professor in Leipzig 6. So we didn't have to read that. Let's move down. Let's move down. See how it goes, y'all. Let's get us some context. Let's get us some context right now. Oh man, I done messed up. Get us some context. Okay, here we go. The Acts of the Apostles, NI 26.257. And they cast lots over them, over Joseph, and over Mattathias, excuse me. but it has Matthias, of whom one was to be chosen as an apostle in the place of Judas. And the lot fell on Matthias, and he was assigned to the 11 apostles. I hope y'all getting some understanding right now. We're going to get a little bit more understanding. Let's get a little bit more understanding in this building, man. All right. So let's see what this says translated from German to English. The messenger that Grotius provides about the way the lottery or the lot was probably and satisfactorily decided is that they had placed lots in two urns. One contained the name Joseph and Matthias, while the other contained an unmarked lot, and one marked with the word apostle. When the lots were drawn from the urns, the one that had the name Joseph written on it came out together with the unmarked one, while the one that had been marked with the name Matthias came out together with one marked with the word apostle. Since this happened in, hold on, all right, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's put it in motion, y'all. Let's see what this section says. Now we know there was casting lots. Now this one says, as a result of a prayer made by one of the apostles. In this case, they concluded that Matthias was one of whom the Lord has chosen to be an apostle. All right, let's get to the next one, y'all. Now we on chapter 3. And let's see what chapter 3 has to say. Chapter 3, the first, chapter 3 and 1. But Peter and John went up together into the temple at the ninth hour, when it was customary to pray. Wow, this is the Bible written in German. You know, when you dig deeper, you're going to start to find a whole lot of things unfold. So, just for sake, we'll just read one more line and show y'all how close related that we are the Orientals. We are the ones from the East. All right. Let's dig a little bit further. Let's dig a little bit further, y'all. Let's see. Let's go and translate this one here. Let's translate it. So it says, the Jews had fixed times before their public and private prayers. Let's do this again. The Jews had fixed times for both their public and private prayers. Daniel prayed 3 times a day. Daniel 6 and 10. And David was accustomed to do the same. Psalms 55 and 18. From the cited passage of Psalms, one can see not only how often, but also at which times of the day this duty was usually performed. It is commonly understood that the morning and the evening prayers coincide with the morning and evening sacrifices, that is, around the third and ninth hour, while the midday prayer was held around the sixth hour or at noon. Wow. Wow. Y'all see that now y'all see we are the Orientals. We are the people of Asia. Now, I'm gonna get to another article or document, and we gonna get to the Z dynasty. We're gonna do a little digging, but before we do that, we're gonna find more about Morgan Land. We're gonna find out. Okay. All right, all right. All right. Okay. Now, we just got through going over the Morgan Land in the German and that is related to the Bible. So what we're going to do now is we're going to read the research I did on Morganland to even come to the conclusion of what it means. Give me a second. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. I don't want to do it on this screen. Think I want to do it on the second. Read. Okay, yeah, it's much more better. Okay. The term Oriental has a complex history. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. Originally used to designate the Near East, it later expanded to include Central Asia, Southwest Asia, South Asia, Southeast Asia, and the Far East. However, it is now considered politically incorrect to use the term Orientalism, a Western scholarly discipline studied the languages, literatures, religions, philosophies, histories, art, and laws of Asian societies. Laws of Asian societies. That's why I tell y'all the Bible has our laws in there that they can't overturn. But instead of getting that, let's go ahead and finish this on now. Oriental studies, now known as Middle Eastern studies and Asian studies, focus on Near East and Far Eastern societies and cultures. Let's get the adjective of Oriental. The adjective or adjectival term Oriental has been used by the West to mean cultures, people, countries, Asian rugs, and goods from the Orient. Now let's dip down to the next definition. Another word for Orient in German is Morgenland, now mainly poetic, which literally translate as morning land. Examples include Oriental and Occidental, provinces of Mandaro and Negroes. Yeah, y'all heard that right. Mandoro, and Negroes. Mindoro and Negroes in the Philippines, and French Department of Pyrenees Orientalists. Now, y'all just heard that statement. Close your mouth. Don't be shocked. No, no, no. Don't be shocked. Close your mouth. I know, alarming, ain't it? To find out, damn, Negroes is Asians. And this is what led me to go ahead and add an old teaching that I had already lined up. So give me a minute and let me look this up real. Now, this has brought me to the OMEC. You know, and this is the black fatigue. We get tired of you niggas. Man, I swear we get tired of you niggas. Oh, the OMEC's African. Man, if you don't get your boy, if you don't get your fictional character, it's up out of here. But we about to get to it, y'all. Let's get into it. I don't want to get too overheated. Let's read a little facts on the OMECs. Let me make sure it's on the screen so you can see. Let me do it on the first screen. Yeah, we good. The OMEC were the first civilization in the Americas, not the first people. Are we understood on that? Good. So let's move on. When they arrived, it's not known, but a guess of 8,000 to 4,000 BC should do. And this was way before funky Africa, before a Kemet, before uh Egyptians, any dynasty. But anyway, let's go and finish this up. Recent research suggests that the Olmec had their roots in the early farming cultures of Tabasco, which began between 52,000 BCE and 4600 BCE. These shared the same basic food crops and technologies of the later Olmec civilization. The Olmec culture is thought to have ended around 400 BC. These Olmec inhabited southern Mexico and are regarded as the mother culture of America. Let's repeat this again. And are regarded as the mother culture of America. That is to say, the later Amerindian cultures. That's right, Amerindian cultures. And technology of the Americas descend from Olmec culture and technology. All of it. Y'all know y'all got it from, but we going to get to the good part in a minute. I just want to read this out so y'all can get a clear understanding of what we about to embark upon after this article. The name Olmec means rubber people. The Nahuatl, the Aztec language. That's the name of the Aztec language. So if you want to find out their language, the Nahuatl. It was the Aztec name for the people who once lived in this area and extracted latex from rubber trees. Oh boy, but we not at the best part, y'all. We not at the best part. Matter of fact, I might look up Amerindians and we can go a little more detailed into that. But this is where I wanted to get to prove to these black power brother niggles that the Olmec were not African. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. But now, what? Say what? Says this ain't back with Dr. Ben Rice. And this ain't back with Walter Williams and all these pseudo teachers now. Let's get it. But when there is mourning, there is, but now there is mounting evidence that the Olmec were remnants from the Xia dynasty of China. Let's read this again. But now there is mounting evidence that the Olmec were remnants from the Xia dynasty of China, who probably had come across the Bering Straits into the Americas. Oh no, they haven't. Put your scholarship up. Y'all see what it says, man. Let's finish this on out. What may be evidence of their trek south along with the western North American coast can be seen in the masks of the Tachian Indians of the western coast of Canada and in written accounts of California Indians in the United States. So they could have came from the West Coast, or they could have came down from Canada, from where we were in the Bering Straits. So let's finish this on now. There is also a similarity between the Xia human sacrifice in China and Olmec human sacrifice in the Americas, as well as their fondness for jade work. The last of the most recent evidence comparison of Shang writing in China and the Olmec writing in America show the two to be very similar. And go check that out. Of course, we won't even mention that they still called themselves Z or Zia. Uh-oh. Oh, bruh. Man, but they, no. Wake up, nigga. I'm sorry to be the Grinch on Christmas, nigga, but y'all gotta wake up to reality. To know the Olmec were not damn African. Now you seeing they just the remnants of the Xia dynasty or Z dynasty. And we just read about Morganland or the Mindoro and the Negro all in Asia. Bro, come on, man. Come on, man. They better stop playing with me, bro. You gotta tell them to stop playing with me with that nigger scholarship. Got a nigger scholarship. You know how them nigga scholarship where one nigga gossip and say something, then pass it to the next nigga, then it change every time it change ears. The words change just like every time they change his ears. So now we getting the full understanding of what we dealing with, man. So it won't be no more confusion amongst the people, man. You know what I'm saying? So y'all gotta know who this is being, taught by. And it's taught by the ones over here at this channel that will be undoctrined minds one more time, coming up from behind, slapping these niggas out their mind, putting their brain back in place. But that fantasy is hard to escape, and living that life is hard to take, but somehow we got to separate. That's the only way we'll end up knowing how to innovate, because most of you niggas don't even know how to renovate. But yeah, we back up in the building, man. Yeah, same chain, man. Yeah. Now, that scholarship for yo. Now, go tell your black African leaders or your scholars, come up that scholarship right there. Now, we're finding out a lot more about our heritage. Now, there was a couple of words in there that was highlighted, you know what I mean? And I suggest y'all go look them up. And we're going to get into the word bay on my next teaching. That'll be up in about the next 30 minutes or to an hour. So with that said, oh, we're gonna go live with that one. So with that said, man, this is your boy Joseph, the father of the spiritual movement. I am the spiritual movement. But with that said, thank you for tuning in to Undoctrined Minds. Until then, we out.